Raila did not push for the dissolution of IEBC after the Supreme Court nullification. That was the other election. Because really, Isaac Hassan left after the 2013 election and not after the 2017 election. Equally, you say that Raila won in 2007, and somebody has texted me wondering, is it because Ruto was there? But that's not the point. The point I'm making about facts. He did not concede to be made prime minister because there was no such a position of prime minister. The position of prime minister was a product of a process that was put in place to save this country from collapse when the country was burning. So there wasn't such a position. To IEBC, Victoria, like I said, there is a lot we could have done. But the people who should have pushed for this were so sure of victory. They saw anything as delaying their march to State House. And I want to repeat this. Raila's issues with IEBC are not new. They are the reason for which he didn't participate in the repeat election. Only a fool would have participated in that election because the things were put down clearly. This is why this election is being nullified. These are the things that were done wrong. These are the individuals, actually the Supreme Court, and I blame the Supreme Court for that, just stopped short of holding certain people responsible criminally for messing the election. I blame them for that. But the people were identified, they were known. The problems were identified. How foolish could Raila have been to go for a repeat election when IEBC had done nothing about that? So he's pursuing some of the same things others perhaps have been done. In terms of the physical register, I don't support that. I don't agree with Raila and anybody else. Look here, once you embrace technology, please go ahead and embrace technology. You cannot put 3 steps forward and go another 4 backwards. The issue that Raila and his team, including all these fellows politicians, should be doing, what they should be saying is, how can we ensure those kids actually function in identifying voters? And by the way, those kids don't require network. They are not even networked. It's just a question of identifying. So it should be about the technology of identification of voters. How sure are we those kids, those gadgets? And it's always a question of just power, you know? Instead of having 1 or 2 batteries, why can't we have 5 fully charged batteries? Why don't we train the boys and girls who are, man, sometimes I've seen it. I think you could have seen it. You go to a voting station, a polling station, 1 hour, the kids are not working. Then somebody drives from the constituency office and comes. It is just the boys and girls didn't know how to operate the kit. And ashika tu even inaanza kazi. So training them well and ensuring the gadgets work. And that's what I meant by political parties, players like Raila Odinga and William Ruto. They should embrace this idea of working with intelligent men and women, forming teams. And by the way, Gladys, the team I meant for the economy and for forming government was not the teams for working on the economy and other things. Every political party, every presidential candidate has teams of experts working with them. But the team I had in mind, Victoria, was a team to help. In America, once you are identified as one of the top 2, you are bound by some law, I think, or practice, to put up a team to help you form government. So that's not a hazard. So there's not something you just wake up one day and appoint ministers. The country will wish to know that you have a serious approach to the formation of government. That's the one I had in mind. But basically what I'm trying to say about IEBC is that we should allow IEBC to modernize its operations. If the problem is with the kit, let's find out how to ensure the kits work.
Do you feel they have enough time to do that?
A kit, this is a gadget. This hardware is nothing. Hardware can get. Batteries, I'm talking about batteries. You can source for batteries in a week.
Well, for the whole value chain of training.
There is no
and
problem.
All that.
Even for example, the network. It is not true that if you don't have 3G, 4G, you can't transmit. Because if you send somebody a WhatsApp message, for example, Victoria, and somehow you don't have data bundles on your phone, the moment you load bundle, it goes. And that's how it works. So, secondly, you could use satellite phones. You get it. So there is nothing to stop us from using
And that has been proposed as well.
There's absolutely nothing. Let's not go backwards. Let's ensure the kits are working. Let's ensure in terms of transmission, we are able to transmit. And finally, when Raila talks about polling stations, Gladys, you will recall in the last election, there were certain mysterious polling stations. Okay? So for Raila to raise the issue of polling stations, he's justified. Remember those mysterious polling stations? Remember remember the GPS problem that we couldn't trace certain kits? So those are issues that somebody can bring to the fore. Those ones I support. Okay. What I don't support is dragging IEBC in terms of technology. Let's support IEBC in terms of technology, but let's ensure the challenges are addressed.